What's up, guys? Welcome into your 2024 election cover. Welcome into PTA Live. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Joining alongside Tim in Green Bay. We got Emilio and Mays in Tennessee. We've got Carly in Wisconsin as well, here to talk some Packers. We're going to do a Chalk Talk episode. We also had some breaking news earlier today that we're going to hit on as well. But first things first, what are you eating down there? I need to know.
Chicken tenders. They were the Chipotle honey from Chili's.
Heard it from a fan right here.
He got the chicken tendies out tonight.
That's just a midnight snack. I'll have a grinder sandwich a little bit later once we're done with the pod.
Carly, what are those animal-shaped chicken nuggets? What are those called?
The Dino Nuggets.
Oh. Dino Nuggets, yes.
There you go. That's what
I love how you ask Carly Ray because she's got kids, and Emilio's the one who answers. Emilio's on top of it.
These things are fire, dude.
He said, I got a couple of those under my race car bed.
Yeah.
So. All right, so we had obviously some big news break earlier today. I wasn't surprised. I don't think anyone was like crazy surprised, but we definitely weren't talking about it much. Preston Smith was traded today. And we had kind of mentioned we didn't expect him back on the books next year unless he took a huge pay cut. So that's the reason we're not like crazy surprised with it. Mandy's upset. I'll just say that. She loves Preston Smith. So he's obviously a fan favorite. I thought he was playing solid this year. But this is a future move, obviously. Basically came down from Ian Rappaport. Said the Steelers aren't done trading for Packers veteran pass rusher Preston Smith, one of the NFL's best defenses, gets better. And then he quote tweeted that and put, it's a 7th rounder going back to Green Bay for Preston Smith. So many people were like, and I know Carly, you reacted this way. Mandy did too. She said, well, we get a 3rd? And I went, no. She said a 4th. I went, no. She said a 5th. I went, no. She used some choice words I can't use on here. But she said, how many rounds are there? And I said, 7. She went, was it a 6th? I went, no. She said, we got a 7th round pick. So anyway, this is all about salary cap, right? And Spotrac put this out, and it basically said the Steelers will acquire defensive end Preston Smith, 2024, $2 million on the books, 2025, $13.4 million, 2026, $14.1 million. The Packers acquire a 2025 7th round pick, right? And they've got dead cap still attached to this, okay? $12 million in dead cap for 2024 and $9.8 million in 2025. People hear that and they immediately think, oh, God, so we only got a 7th round pick and we got a big cap penalty. Yes, but you still come out better in the long run. And I try to crunch the numbers. And listen, I may be off by $500K or so, but what it essentially comes up to in 2024, you shave $2 million off of the salary cap. In 2025, if my numbers are correct, it's somewhere between 6.5 and 7.5 million off the cap next year. And then in 2026, you're looking at about 18 million, roughly. Okay. Now, when you look at kind of how the dead cap and how it's attached here, just to kind of show you here on Spot Track, if you go to the dead money in 2024, you now see Preston Smith on the books for 12 million. You guys know it was a little bit more than that. I think he was 14 million on the books, maybe 14.8, something like that. So that's where you're getting that 2 million surplus. And then, of course, in 2025, if we hop over there real quick, you'll notice the dead cap attached in 2025 is 9.8 million. And again, you're freeing up roughly 7 million next year. So I think he was on the books for like 17 or 18 million next year. And now he's only on the books for 9 million. That's where you're getting that $7 million difference in cap space. So this was all about cap. It wasn't about the 7th round pick, right? That's the way I'm seeing it anyway. And again, those numbers may be off a touch, but hopefully that kind of puts things into a simplistic form for everyone to understand. Now, Goody did mention at the presser, and I'm going to go around the horn and get your all's take on it. Matt Schneidman tweeted this out. Brian Gutekunst says allowing Aaron Mosby and Brenton Cox Jr. to get on the field along with giving some Preston Smith snaps to other guys is something he's looking forward to. So it's obvious Goody's being upfront about this. We want to get the young guys on the field. Let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. Let's free up that cap space. The problem I have with it personally, your team did not get better today for 2024. There's no one who's going to convince me this team is better without Preston Smith. It's just not going to happen. The last 2 games he graded out in the 70s. He's arguably our best run defending edge defender. He's got that long wingspan. He's also versatile enough, and when I say versatile enough, to drop on those fire zone blitzes. it's not that Enigbare can't do that, but him dropping would free Gary up to be able to run those stunts and kind of go after the passer, right? So now it's going to be kind of Enigbare. You don't want LVN doing that, is what I'm getting at, right? So it's going to be a little more predictable, I feel like, when you run those fire zone blitzes, because when Preston was on the field, you had a good run defender, and you also had someone that could drop in that zone. So, again, I'm not saying it's the end of the world. You're just not going to convince me that this team is better in 2024 without Preston Smith, without anything else coming back in return to make the team stronger, like maybe a corner or something. But I've said my piece. Let's go around the horn with it, and then we'll do a little fantasy update, and then we'll get into chalk talk. But Tim, what do you think, man? How you feeling about the Preston move here, man?
Like you know, surprised but not surprised, right? And we got to salute Preston Smith. Thank you for your service. The guy is a pro's pro, a veteran in this league, and you know, wish him all the best there over in the AFC. Maybe we'll see you in the Super Bowl or something. But you know, I'm with you. We definitely didn't get better right now for this season, but I think that time will tell, and the tape will tell if we actually took a step back. I don't think we necessarily got worse. You know, like Goody's saying, it's a chance to get some of these younger guys on the field, get them some more snaps, but there's definitely going to be a void in this defensive room as a whole. You talk about a leader, you know, one of the few older veterans that we have on this team, you know, guy 30 plus, you know, experienced. But hey, we got to look forward. We know if anyone will turn a 7th round draft pick into a future Hall of Famer, it's Goody. So let Goody cook. And, you know, I would have liked maybe, you know, a 5th or a 6th, but hey, let's be honest. Preston is 33. You know, he's not getting younger, but the output is there. We've seen the production, like you said. He's consistently graded out in the, you know, mid to high 60s or low to mid 70s for us, even as he's gotten older, and he doesn't seem to have lost a step. So, you know, we can argue about the draft pick all we want. We all know this was a cap move, and if Preston wasn't in the plan long term, AKA after this year, why not get away from them now and rather than waiting too late, you know, get away too soon rather than too late. That's the motto. So, you know, I'm going to roll with it. We're going to miss him though. One of my favorite guys for sure.
Stand up dude, man.
Stand up dude. Good teammate. Exactly what it meant to be a Packer. That guy got it from the moment he touched down here. And, you know, we appreciate everything he did for us, and all the best to Preston. Onward and upward. Let's go, Brenton Cox Jr.,
Let's go.
Aaron Mosby.
Somewhere Jacob is fist pumping right now, like he's from Jersey Shore, I promise you.
He's
Emilio, what's your take, man?
Fist pump, yeah.
Jacob's just minute around right now, man. He's just but yeah, no, it's like this year's Rasul Douglas, you know, locker room guy, that type of stuff. That's where I think it's going to be the biggest hit. We have young talent. We don't know what they're going to be. I'm gonna kind of excited to see what their edge setting, like how you were talking, Clay, where are they going to be edge setting versus, you know, run defense and, you know, dropping into coverage. Like Tim was saying, I mean, at some point it's going to happen. We got younger. That's nice. The numbers keep going in our favor that way. But, you know, I appreciate Preston for all he did and for how healthy he was. So I just want to see that moving forward with our edge, and everyone's got to step up now. You lose that locker room guy. Time for everybody else to move forward. Can't go back now.
Coach Lynn says Preston was a better 34 edge than a 4-3. 100%, Coach, no doubt about that. But Carly, how do you feel about this? I know you just kind of found out a few minutes ago. I know you've been busy with the kiddos, but how you feeling about this move here? You agree with Mandy, a 7th round pick?
Well, you know, when you look at the cap stuff, it does make sense, especially if they were thinking about letting him go anyway. It is a smart move on that side. And I do think, like, I got to trust Goody and think about how hard it must be to be a GM, to want to have your team be as best as it can now, but also simultaneously having to plan for the future. Because you see some of the other teams that are like seemingly constantly trick themselves into thinking they're in like win now mode, and what dumpster fires a lot of them end up being. And I don't want that to be the Packers. I don't want them to, you know, fool themselves into thinking we got to keep all these guys with these guys the only way to win. And so, we didn't get better right now, which makes me think, are we not planning on going to the playoffs or the Super Bowl? We've seen that when guys get more playing time, what they can do, just being in there and getting more reps, and guys surprise us. And, you know, like you said, Tim, Goody can make any pick into a Hall of Famer, and so I'm not worried about it.
There you go. All right, so I think we're pretty straightforward, as far as everyone's on the same page there. You hate to see him go, but at the same time, you understand with the cap space issue. So It's what it is. All right. Anything else y'all want to add to that, or are we ready to move on? We good?
No, it would have been cool if it was a conditional 6, but we can't ask everything from him.
All right. Yeah. That's a good point.
Real quick, just hitting the chat. Coach Flynn was saying we got our 7th back. That's what I was, going to mention. Loved that. We got it back for the Willis trade. Kind of a wash by the time. My thought was I don't want there to be no picks by the time we get up there in April. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't want them all to disappear.
Right. I understand. And it's a good positive way of looking at that, Coach. Like, you traded a 7th for Willis and you got that 7th back. So it's like you traded Preston for Willis. The only issue I have is, like I said, for depth, let's say LVN or Gary goes down with an injury, right? Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better about Preston being there. You could have had both Willis and Preston. So I understand that mindset of, okay, you essentially traded Preston for Willis. If you told me you got to say yes or no to that trade, I'm saying yes to it. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you really had the best of both worlds and for a 7th round pick. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, it's about the cap space. And next year, this offseason, right? Emilio, $7 million, you can go out and make something happen with that. You really can.
Yeah. No, you can definitely grab somebody for $5, $6, $7 million, no problem. And then going into the year after that, $18 million. We're going to need to pay Zach Tom. All these guys are going to be coming up, kind of thing. So it was a smart move. You had to get it done. It's just tough to see a good guy go. Isaiah Mickles says, I guess a 7th is better than nothing. Miss you already, P. Smith. Harry Cheese, we got out from under the contract, which is true. And then Holmes agreed with you, Clay. So, yeah, that's about it. It's a guy that was great for our team for when he was here. Brought him in with another Smith, and he was the longest-lasting Smith. Too bad he's gone.
Yeah.
Speaking of the other Smith, did you guys hear about that deal?
Yeah, so Zadarius Smith is now a Detroit Lion, right? Is that what you're referring to there?
Yep, that's official. He's rounding out the tour of the NFC North here.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man, if it just seems like everywhere he goes, they're not happy with it. You guys know what I always say. If everywhere you go, it smells like cow poop, you might want to check your boot. You know what I mean? Probably you. Can't be everybody else. But, again, they needed an edge rusher. I think it's a great move for Detroit. I do. If they get 1 year out of him in a motivated year, that's going to kind of help fill that void that Aiden Hutchinson left behind. Just better hope things don't go south because he's not the best locker room guy, right? So, all right. Y'all ready to do some chalk talk?
Yes.
All right, let's jump into it. This is going to be a fun one. Listen, we're going to make it fun, all right? It's all about learning what happened, why did it happen. I'm going to try to lay out the entire game here in sequence and understand there's a lot of first down passes that didn't make this cut, and I want to put emphasis on that. I felt like that played a big role in this game as well, okay? So just to say, I heard some people saying, I don't mind if you pass on first down. I don't either, but in a monsoon and you're running back averaging 8.9 yards a carry, that's where I draw the line. Like, what the hell are we doing? Let's keep running the rock here. So, but with that being said, let's jump into it, man. Again, for those who are concerned, this is not going to be everything negative. We're going to show a lot of positive because it is a Packers podcast, but we're also going to explain some of the negatives that cost us the game, right? So first play here, I want to say this. Opening kickoff, Keyshawn Nixon, huge return, 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty, pretty much wiped out that return, which absolutely sucked. I think we would all agree. So, that's a tough way to start the game, no doubt about that. But we're picking up here first quarter, 14-17, left, 2nd and 1 from your own 34. This is a Josh Jacobs 13-yard run. It's 0-0, obviously. The call is 11 pistol, bunch nasty, nub right, F cheat, 21 zone, and there's actually going to be like a 28 cut back here, okay? And what we mean by all this is, obviously, you guys know what the nasty splits are. When we say nub, that means it's the tight end is the only target on that side of the field, okay? So that's what you call like a nub right or a nub left. When we say bunched, you're talking about that half diamond pattern right here, okay? Everybody's inside the number, so that's nasty. Pistol is when you're in a shallow gun set and you've got the running back directly behind the quarterback. So again, 11 pistol, bunch nasty, nub right, F cheat left. So the F is Jaden Reed, okay? And he is going to cheat left. It may have already happened. Let's see here. Yeah, so he's going to cheat outside. So obviously he's moving outside here to get kind of a run and go. And it's going to be a 21 zone is my call. Emilio, if you disagree with any of these calls that I came up with, call them out because I could have missed them. But 21, obviously, right is even numbers, left is odd. 2 is the running back, so it's obviously a run going to the running back. And with the 1 being the second number, that means it's odd. It's going to be the left in the A gap. So it's designed to go here. And what you're going to notice is our boy cut all the way back outside by the time this play is over. Again, this is a 13-yard explosive run by Josh Jacobs. Let's roll it. Look at this cut back right. A little spin move. Whoop. This dude did it all night long, man. Just making something out of nothing all night. Let's go to the end zone cam here. And what I'm noticing, too, is a lot of misdirection calls. This one specifically isn't a misdirection, I don't believe. But I think we've got 2 that made chalk talk this week, which is really cool. So, again, when we say 21, right, that would be 1. That would be 3, right? That would be 5. If they were going right, it would be 2, 4, 6. The 2 represents the running back. Mm-hmm. So that's your first number, 2. And, again, we're going A gap left, so it's odd 1. All right, that's where it's designed to run is what it looks like to me. Now, they kind of – you see the gap he's shooting for right there. Closes up well. They play it good. That spin move is just sick, boy.
Yeah, that was mean. He did that poor guy dirty.
So, again, it's nothing like crazy, flashy, glamorous, but those are the type of runs that Josh Jacobs was ripping off.
Out of pistol. I don't know why we got away from it.
I'm so proud. Like every offseason, we try to find stuff like what are going to be the trends this year. And we called that one out this offseason. You're going to see more pistol in the NFL. Sean McVay brought it back. They had a hell of a lot of success with Kyron Williams last year, and it's a copycat league. Lo and behold, Packers running a lot of pistol this year. So one thing I will say that I noticed about this game, at least it seemed to me, and maybe I was just looking for it, with Jordan's knee still not being completely healthy, wasn't under center a lot. Y'all notice that? Gun and pistol, right? That's an issue. It is. It's just another reason why I was kind of like, man, I really wish they'd started the league.
If you can't turn your back to the defense and really sell that play action, how are they going to bite? I mean, you can run RPOs all day long out of sidecar, but you're not going to be able to get the defense to really collapse 2-3 yards from the backers and try to hit something over their head.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next play. First quarter, 9:26. Later that drive, 2nd and 10 play. How'd we get to 2nd and 10? I wonder. So you're behind schedule here, right? And they said to hell with it, we're going to run the ball anyway. So 2nd and 10 at Detroit's 28. This is a Josh Jacobs 11-yard run on the same drive. And the call is 11 gun dubs, Y flex left, twin stack, T-same, F orbit 22 zone. It's actually going to be a 23 cutback. You're seeing a lot of cutbacks in this game because Josh Jacobs is making chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what. So 11 gun dubs. Dubs just simply means 2 by 2 set, right? When we say twin stack, twin wide receivers, and they're stacked on top of each other like that in that set. When we say Y flex left, there's your Y. Rather than being attached, he's actually flexed out here, okay? And then T same simply means that the T, the running back, is on the same side as the tight end. F orbit, who's your F, right? Here's your F. That's Jaden Reed. He's going to run orbit motion, which goes behind the quarterback, all right? F orbit left, and then 22 zone is the call. So, again, 2 being the halfback, and then the even numbers are to the right, 2 being the A gap right. So I think this is designed to go here personally, okay? 22 zone, and he's actually going to cut it back. But what you'll notice with a lot of these zone runs is the offensive line gets to moving these guys, and watch how far they move across the formation. There's the orbit motion. Interesting how they're just freeing up.
Man, right, by Detroit here.
Looks like it, yes. Sure does. Yeah, good call, Tim. Might have been a cover 1 hole. They could have been blitzing. It's hard to tell when they read run right off the bat, but yeah. But it definitely cover 1 man. So there you see right there. It looks like it was the aim was for the 22, like, you know, the 2 hole, which is A gap right. But as the line zone blocks over, it ends up in the 23 look there in the 3 hole. So again,
which is crazy. 23 on the right side of the formation.
Bingo. Yeah. Look at this. The right side of the formation, but you end up in 23, you know, in the 3 hole. And
Jordan
again,
Morgan, man. Jordan Morgan.
Yes.
Look at this block, man.
Get off the double.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
One-handed too, right? Just get out of here, boy. Get out of here, little boy. Love it. Let's watch it one more time here. And again, Josh Jacobs, man, there's no hesitation. Sometimes he's patient. Okay, let's just cut it. Bang. Right? Got the burst. And it doesn't matter when he gets contacted, bro, he's getting at least another 3 yards.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So there was that play. So there's 2 explosive runs on the opening drive. Green Bay ended up kicking a field goal. They go up 3-0. So now we're going to fast forward first quarter. 5:18 left. This is a 2nd and 9 play from their own 43-yard line. And this is a Montgomery 11-yard run. So this is an explosive run for the Detroit Lions here. Okay, we're in a 4-3 over, and they run a zone left, and he's actually going to cut back right. What you're going to notice here, and I hate to do it, but Wyatt missed tackle, Quay gets washed out, Eric Wilson missed tackle. Jeff Hafley got to be pulling his hair out on this play, right? So in a 4-3 over, what it essentially means is you're shaded towards the tight end side. I may have topped it in wrong here. I think I did. Yeah, it should have been a 4-3 under, actually. So it's hard to tell. Is there only 3 linemen here? Is that Enigbari? That's Enigbari, right? Am I thinking right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So this is actually, see, I make these mistakes all the time. This is, I know what it was. They lined up in an odd. See, he's 0 right here. When you're in 0 tech with a 4-3 front or a 4-3 front, that's called odd, right? And what you'll notice, I think they shift last second, and when they shift, bang, now you're in what we call an over, okay, 4-3 over. So that's what it was. I knew there was something to it. So again, what I want you to key in on first, Devontae Wyatt right here. He's going to get in the backfield, miss a tackle, okay? Ball snapped. You see, great job shedding right there, right? Swim move, and just that was the problem last year, right? Arm tackle. Let's take it back a couple frames. Now I want you to key in on Quay. Watch Quay right here. First of all, I don't like this. Look how off balance he is. You know what I mean? It's just like there's no leverage there. It's just kind of one foot in front of the other. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks awkward. But again, he's going to get washed out right here. He's out of the play. So now you're dependent on Eric Wilson, who may or may not be getting held or blocked in the back there. We won't talk about that, right? And then you'll see Eric Wilson just miss a tackle, right? You had 3 attempts to bring that ball carrier down. You miss on all 3. The result is an explosive run, and we know explosive plays triple your chances of scoring on that drive. And again, Green Bay's leading 3-0 on this play. Let's look at the end zone cam. You guys talk about it.
I think this is what we talk about with Quay, not being decisive. Like if he shoots right, see that little shuffle,
yes,
that little hezzy step there. If he just shoots that gap, this might be different on this play. And this is why it gets harder and harder for me to
right there
stick up for him. Yeah, the hesitation right there because there's nobody there yet.
Right.
There's no reason to not play downhill, especially if this is your assignment too. To shoot this gap in the run fit.
And what he's thinking here too, Tim, is this is his gap assignment, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And this is a good example of the 4-3, just one gap. Look how aggressive they're being up front, right? So can you kind of – but again, Quay, it's just like – Tim, it feels like Savage. Remember how Savage was like it was just like he played safe all the time. Like,
right.
You got a shot. You shoot your shot there, man.
Yeah.
Edgerrin Cooper shoots that shot. I'm sorry. Right? We've seen it over and over.
Or maybe he does hezzy step a little just so he can slide that this block from that's 87 there, tight end. So tight end's coming over. You can time that too. You can shoot the gap and then sidestep that guy, wash him out of the play instead of letting yourself get washed out. But we've seen this numerous times from Quay. So I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's harder and harder for me to defend him out there on the field. He's still my guy, still love him. But yeah, I mean, it's year 3, we should be seeing improvement.
Right.
Yeah. Tough on. Yeah. I think you guys hit pretty much it all on Quay. There are a couple things I saw, tough. Coop did get walked out on that one. He got reached at the second level. He had a shot at the opening for a sec, right about there. Punch down.
Yeah.
Then he gets kind of washed out. So maybe Quay was worrying about covering 2 gaps, whatever. Beginning of the play, don't love what LVN did over there if he's going to be starting instead of Preston. and boom.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's not a good rep.
so I not the best rep. Love the hustle to get back, but that's just one thing right there. If LVN stays engaged and gets upfield, then 87 doesn't make it up to Quay, and he sticks him in the hole.
Yeah,
I think. But just all around ugly, missed tackles.
Right, and it's not like we're picking on Quay. I mean, there was a lot of mistakes by different guys, and you're definitely right. Wilson got held on that one for sure. I don't know how many different angles you guys saw that, but that was an obvious hold. Didn't help us.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so next play is I think it's later that drive. Yeah, later that drive, second quarter, 14:56 left, 4th and goal at Green Bay's 3. This is after the penalty, obviously. This is the Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown. Green Bay's leading 3-0 at this moment. Carly, we didn't hit the fantasy stuff, did we? I'm a knucklehead.
No. It's all right.
Unbelievable.
No
No, it ain't all right. No, it ain't all right. We interrupt this Chalk Talk to bring you the fantasy standings for the PTA fantasy.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Carly, take
on our
over.
coverage of the night. Yeah.
Give these guys and gals an update on our fantasy league because I'm a moron. Go ahead.
No worries. You want to drop the ticker down?
What's that?
Oh, there
right.
it is. K Rizzle got a dub.
One, my first one. No, I wish I was thinking about putting the matchups up here too, because it was almost a blowout for almost everybody this week. People won by anywhere from like 30 to 60 points. It was crazy. Not too many close games, but our standings thus far in first place, well, tied for first, I guess. We have CJN airing it out and Numbskulls with records of 7-2. Next, we've got a 3-way tie with Hunka Burnin' Love, Trevor from Virginia, and the Immunizers, 6-3. Then next, we got United Bates and Dave C with 5-4.
Nice.
And then in 8th, 9th, and 10th, we got Pack Daddy, Chris N, and Jake G, 126. Oh, wait, and Dane Stromstad. I'm sorry. That's a 4-way tie, 4-5. Then we got Pack and Cheese and Mike's Marvelous team at 2-7. And then finally, with one win on my record this year, I am in last place, 1-8.
Listen, I got to call it out again. The Immunizers are lucky. All right. Listen, they've scored 1,378 points, right? You've scored 1,396. You have outscored the Immunizers, right? They're in 5th place and you're in last. I'm sorry. I demand a recount on this election. Okay, that's unbelievable, unbelievable. But so there are your PTA fantasy standings. That is brought to you by Ticket King. So we'll just act like we planned this the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So shout out to CJN and Numbskulls, and then obviously Hunka Burnin' Love, Trevor from Virginia, the Immunizers at there in the top 5. United Bates starting to creep up too. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Dave C, too. So, Carly, thank you so much, and I apologize for missing that. You're probably sitting there going, I got to sit through this whole episode. Idiot.
No, it's all right.
All right, back to your regular schedule program here. So, next play we're going to cover is the St. Brown touchdown. Obviously, like I said, 14:56 left in the second quarter, 4th and goal from Green Bay's 3-yard line. What you got is a cover 0 call, and Green Bay loves call. A lot of teams like to call this down here in the red zone. These guys are trying to sort it out, obviously, but you got man coverage is essentially what you've got here, and it's a cover 0, but I think it's a will hole, to be honest with you. So I think the will backer, I'm trying to think if it's, I don't think it's him. I think it's him right here, is actually going to kind of sit in the middle of the field, right? So it's almost like a cover 1 look, but they're going to be aggressive in attack if it's a run play. But they're going to use some cheat motion here with Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you're going to notice it ends up being Keyshawn, right? So you see Keyshawn follow. Both these guys are going to go across the formation here, right? If I can get this to click, I don't know what's going on there. All right, that's strange. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on right there. That is nuts. I may have to close it out and bring it back up. Anyway, let's roll it. Keyshawn in man coverage. This is frustrating, gang. Like right here, all right, yeah, it's a little stop and go and the fade. Keyshawn's got to know, man. Get your head around. Like you – at least throw your hand up. This frustrates me more than anything when we're watching tape. You know you're in man coverage. He's not going to catch that ball in the tunnel. Like you know the ball has got to be coming to him right now. Get your hand up. And it's just no reaction at all, and then a little shove, and he's going to act like incomplete. He wasn't in my ass. Like, come on. It's just that's frustrating. And I
feel
think
like he was beat on the first move, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a stop and go. He was beat on the stop. Like he played himself out of position already.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we can see it from the box cam a little when he comes over, but
yeah,
he just came up too flat. I mean, he had no way to recover.
Right. And
look how out of position he is, even at the point of the catch. I mean,
yeah,
not a good look.
It really isn't, man. It's just tough. Again, I just don't understand the whole. He's out of room. The ball's got to be on its way, you know.
And you got to use the sideline as your extra defender too in that situation.
And again, when you get to the 3-yard line, Emilio, like there's a chance they're going to score, right? Pretty good chance. It's just frustrating when it happens like that.
Oh, definitely. What is even more frustrating is that was after Slayton jumped, right? They drew him off or whatever it was with the head snap, center snap, whatever. And then in that play, they ran the same exact play twice. You already saw St. Brown motion over, motion across. I would have even been fine with Keyshawn sitting on the other side waiting for him. If they don't play it, all right, you take X's responsibility or something like that. If you needed to be in a better position, you already saw what happened the previous play. So I don't know. That was a tough one. Yeah, he needs to get his head around definitely, or at least sit there and just watch his hips. I mean, even if he he was underneath the ball, he could have made a play on it. If he just, like you said, if he watched his hips and then as St. Brown crossed the goal line, start to maybe just peek a little. I mean, Goff was staring him down like nobody other.
He knew exactly where he was going.
Right.
No doubt.
Do you think he underestimated Goff's ability to put it right where Amon-Ra could get it, thinking, oh, we're so close, that me being here is just going to be a deterrent that he's not going to throw it?
There could have been a little bit of that. I can understand how you could ask that question. Obviously, you'd rather him be where he was than on the outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? But at the same time, the problem I got is just there's no, and you see this with Stokes a lot. Tim, we've talked about that a lot. Like Stokes got all the physical tools you need to be a great man cover corner, but it's just like he doesn't find the ball, right?
And especially in the red zone, you got to be able to play man. I mean, you can call zone looks down there backed up against the goal line, but you got to be able to man up, especially inside the 10 there. But yeah, we've seen that with Stokes a lot, tracking the ball issues. And, and again, if you're not playing good off the snap or off the ball, you're not playing disciplined coverage. You're playing the makeup game the whole way. You're playing from behind rather than using leverage and playing smart there in the red zone. So yeah, it's just a tough look.
I would say I definitely don't subscribe to the opinion where people say that Jared Goff isn't good. I think it was a hell of a throw. It was a hell of a catch. Great route. I don't want to just make it about Keyshawn screwed up here, right? It was perfectly executed play. And I know there's some people that have the opinion that Goff ain't that good. Boys, he's compare him to our quarterback right now. He's running circles around him. There's no two ways about it. So we got to stop with the whole, Goff is overrated. It's like, I just don't see that, man. But anyway, next play. Second quarter, 14:49 left. First and 10 play from our own 24. This is the Josh Jacobs 37-yard run. Detroit's leading 7-3. The call is 12 pistol dubs. Emilio just perked up and got happy. 12 pistol dubs, Z nasty, U flex, shift to U lock, 21 dives. So what's really cool is they're starting to use Ben Sims a little different. Notice how he was flexed out wide here. That's kind of what you would see with Musgrave. And then they're going to bring him into what we call lock. I've heard it called lock. You guys may call it something else. He's going to kind of play right off the outside shoulder of this tight end. So you got a strong left look, right? And, obviously he's the U. He was flexed out. So as he comes over, he's going to lock in right here. Now what you've got is a strong left look. And notice how they're shaded to the weak side. You notice that? The defensive line is kind of shaded in that direction. And this is going to be a 21 dive is what I called it. Some people may call it duo. Again, with duo, I've always heard it's vertical power. Sometimes you don't get guys to the second level. And I don't know, you guys be the judge of it. We'll see what you think. But again, 21, running back getting the ball, and it's going to be A gap left is where it's designed here out of the pistol. Let's watch it in 75, actually, so it ain't too slow. And this is just Josh Jacobs being Josh Jacobs. Burst through the hole, bang. And when we get to the end zone cam, boys, I'm going to give it to you guys because these tight ends block their ass off. It's absolutely awesome play here from the tight end. Love Tucker Kraft sliding in. What are you laughing about, Amelia? You laughing
Tucker
at
Kraft sliding in on taking out Christian
Watson. Tucker always having a party. And look, whoop. But what if he'd rolled the ankle? Tucker's like, oh, crap, I just lost my job.
Yeah.
All right, so again, this is I called it 21 dive. We'll see what you call it here, Emilio. But what I want you to key in on, Tucker getting in here and sealing, and then you're going to notice, I think this is the play where Sims actually gets a pancake block too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the call here, if I remember. I've watched so much football this past week. I get more excited about the losses. So, no, he's taking on the end, and then he's going to get – yeah, so it was the end that he actually pancakes, isn't it?
Yep, wow. with help from Wicks cracking on Branch.
Yep.
Little friendly fire there, but you have 8 in the box. You don't have a lead blocker. You just have 2 tight ends left. That's it. Yeah. I mean, that's good blocking. You got to be happy with that.
Great job of Tucker here, man. Just using the leverage. Let his leverage carry him around. And Ben Sims with that pancake, man. Tim, this is what Ben Sims has impressed the hell out of me, dude. I don't know how you feel, but like I want that dude around for a while. Every week we're showing stuff like this.
Yeah, he's like Tuck Norris's evil twin out there. You know, love it. Love to see it.
Just a prettier version with those curly.
Right.
Locks,
yeah. Right? I would love to see the dynamic with those guys in the locker room. It's got to be fun.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, this is what you want to see, right? Good run blocking, tandem blocking, and you give Josh Jacobs an inch, he's going to take a mile, right? I mean, that's just the type of back he is. He runs well behind crummy run blocking. So when you actually get out there and hit your man, it turns into plays like this. And we've seen it time and time again this year.
Yeah. And when we say duo, guys, the reason I wouldn't call this duo, and if someone else wants to call it duo, that's cool. I could be wrong here. Duo is typically double. That's why they call it duo. But most of the time, you'll get vertical off of that double team, right, to the next level. It's called vertical power. So like with a power play, like say Tom would come over a gap or two and block, right? That's a power play. It's a vertical power. They're not changing gaps. They're not changing position, and they're getting to the second level. These guys didn't really do that. They just 2 double team blocks there, right? So that's the reason I would hesitate on calling it duo. But I'm telling you, man, that's an age-old argument on whether something's duo or zone or dive. You're kind of splitting hairs at that point, in my opinion. So again, 37-yard run. We've showed 3 offensive plays for the Packers. All 3 of them were explosive plays, and they were running plays from Josh Jacobs, who was just an absolute dog there in the first half.
A 37-yard run with 8 in the box. That's
crazy.
We got to be happy with that for our O-line and run blocking. That's got to be a win. And obviously, kudos to Josh Jacobs. Worked from the tight ends and the wide receivers. They got to block to get the rock.
And here's what sucks. 37-yard run, you'd think, all right, explosive triples your chances of scoring, right?
Yep.
Not on that. You had 2 penalties that led to Green Bay punting. So Detroit still leads 7-3. So we talk about the penalties and the role they played. Perfect example right there. So now let's fast forward to second quarter, 10:57 left, 2nd and 7 play from their own 24-yard line. I love this sequence. This is a 2-play sequence, and I wanted to show it because the Rashawn Gary haters, you might want to turn the show off real quick, okay? Because he takes over on this drive. 4-3 under. This is a Gary and McDuffie run stuff. So keep in mind, this is a 2nd and 6 play. If this run stuff doesn't happen, you're not in a position on the next play to end the drive, all right? I just want to point that out. But watch Gary up top in a wide 9. He's going to jump outside, take the C gap. We're talking about up here, okay? So he's going to take the outside shoulder and then watch him bounce back in and help McDuffie get this tackle. Watch this. Bang. You'll see it better with the end zone cam. Run stuff there from McDuffie. And Gary, that's going to set you up with a 3rd and 4 instead of potentially a first down, right? So they were 2nd and 6. Again, watch Gary, watch McDuffie attack. This is the difference between McDuffie and Quay. Look at McDuffie get in there and look where Quay's at, right? Like it's just every play with Quay. He's just hesitant. McDuffie going to get in there and make a play, and again, Gary sliding back outside or sliding back inside and getting the tackle.
It's like Gary doesn't get too focused. I mean, he's got his man and he's going to do it right, but he's not so focused on that he loses the awareness of where the ball is and where the guy's going with the ball. He's got great vision, it looks like.
Yeah, and this is going to be your new front here, guys. You see LVN over there. I think one of the reasons they felt like, okay, let's just go ahead and move on from Preston Smith is because Gary's playing both sides of the ball now, right? I really – both sides of the ball, I say both sides of the line, right? He's not playing cornerback or wide receiver. Okay, that's not what I mean there.
Right.
But again,
now that Preston's gone, we'll see more of that from Rashawn, like more wide 9 tech, or maybe more, involved in the pass game a little bit.
More on that right side, no doubt. And from the defense's perspective here, right? That's what you would actually refer to that as right end. He's predominantly played left end and moved around. This year he's moved around a lot because they're trying to free him up to get him away from all the chips. Because he is being chipped, just about more than anybody in the league. But again, great run stuff there. Very next play. So again, now it's 3rd and 4. It's 2nd and 6. Run stuff by Gary. Now you're in a 3rd and 4 play. 2nd quarter, 10-19 left at their own 26. Watch what happens on this play, gents. So you've got Rashawn Gary, I think's right here, and then Aaron Mosby is there. Now there was people that came at me on Twitter going, Aaron Mosby got the sack. Remember last week when I think it was last week when the tackle that Gary was rushing against fell down? They said, well, that shouldn't count as a sack. Watch what happens to Mosby's guy. Look at the right tackle. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Mosby. Watch. He trips over the guard and falls down. Mosby did nothing, right? And this is a nickel 4-2-5 cover 1-man mock drop. And what I mean by that is the mock. You identify the mock. Here's your 2 linebackers, right? It's either a mock and a will. There's your strong side of the formation. The mock is always on the strong side of the formation. So Quay is the mock here. The mock's going to drop in the mid zone. And this is your deep zone. Everyone else is just kind of man coverage across the board, right? All the way across. And they, typically the guy on the 2, the number 2 receiver, there's your 1, there's your 2, there's your 3. Typically the one on the 2 will play a little more of a press look there. So cover 1, look at Gary up top. I mean, just bull rushing the left tackle in there.